Greetings, tankers. It is Khan here once again with a much overdue video. I apologize for my absence from the YouTubes, as I was in the process of moving over the summer and dumped a lot of videos off of my PlayStation's hard drive onto my computer, and I just haven't had a chance to go through there and start putting videos together. But I do have a very, very exciting game with my favorite Tier 8 medium, the Indien Pz. A little bit of brief history. This tank was a collaboration between Porsche and Krupp, if I'm not mistaken. It was never realized. It existed only in designs, and is a design, post-World War II design from the 50s that was planned for the Indian government. But yeah, it never existed, and the Indian government ended up using Centurions and Shermans and Pattons and whatnot, as did most of Europe. But here in World of Tanks, hey, what do you know? We can drive the shit out of it. As I was just showing off there a second ago, the lower glacis of this tank is where the ammo rack lives. So you got to use this tank's gun depression and troll turret armor to bounce shots, as opposed to getting hit in that huge lower glacis. And while the upper glacis is 90 millimeters thick, you really don't even want to be hit there either. And it's best just to put this thing on the side of the hill, maximize all those angles on your turret armor, and play whack-a-mole with people. That being said, with the exception of the lower glacis on this tank, the rest of the armor is pretty robust. If you're in a situation where you're brawling, the 90 millimeters of side armor, which is 10 more than a Tiger II, mind you, will give you pretty good chances of bouncing shots. And in certain situations, against certain guns, you can even side scrape off of corners. Here we've got some gun stats. It starts with the L56 88mm, which is not something you want to be running. And they added a package a long time ago where you can use the Panther II's L71 88mm if you have it researched, which is significantly better. But the 90mm is really where it's at. With its 8.33 rounds a minute, 212mm of penetration, and 2.7 second aim time with that .34 accuracy, you're going to hit a lot. And by the time you're reloaded and ready to go, that reticle is aimed and ready for you. Now I've got a game here on Dragon Ridge. It's a tier 10 game, mind you. We're going to take the old girl out, and we're going to see what she's capable of. Ooh. Now, just straight away, you can see immediately that this tank has heinous gun depression. I'm completely concealed here on this bluff, looking back into the flank. This is the kind of position you want to get in with your tanks that have good gun depression. Not just this tank, but your T-29s, your Centurions, your STA-1s, like any and all of those tanks. You want to get yourself in this kind of a position. I'm not sure if you remember from the garage clips earlier, but this thing's gun mantlet, I believe, is about 120 millimeters thick on top of the 90 millimeters of turret armor. Which is fantastic for a tier 8 medium. It's incredibly bouncy, and provided you're not letting yourself remain stationary and taking shots, you'll get a lot of bounces off this turret. Oh, we just picked up a kill. That's always good news. This M103 comes rushing out, and I sink a shot through his cupola, which is generally a pretty good place to try to shoot those things if you got the accuracy to hit him. Just putting it down range into the Super Pershing now. This is a great spot. There's a lot of concealment between me and these tanks in the form of all these trees. I've got other people doing the spotting for me. It is a tier 10 game, so I'm feeling very cautious. I was in the race to get my third mark of excellence at this point in time, and was getting really, really close, and I didn't want to have bad games, so I was playing really, really conservatively with my friend Pal, as he was grinding through the Centurion 1. But yeah, here's an IS-7, and man, I just hate shooting at these things, even with tier 10 tanks, because they're just so damn tough. We'll see more of him here in a little bit. Move back to my my central position, as there were tanks out there that I was interested in getting more shots into. Yeah, not really too sure what's going on at this point in time, which is kind of in a holding pattern. I know it might seem a little bit counterintuitive to be this restrain sometimes, but tier 10 game, tier 8 tank, you really just kind of want to sit back and support as much as you can. So long as you're in a position where you're apt to do something, it's better than doing nothing, especially if nothing involves driving up way ahead of the forces and getting obliterated. Got this M103 in a very precarious position. He's tracked side on. Numerous tanks putting it into him. Knock his tracks off again. There's just no way he's going to get out of this. Yeah, he's just gone. No way. You don't want to be that guy. Well, there's nothing like shooting at STIs downrange, nearly 500 meters. There's just little hope for me to get through. I don't want to shoot APCR at him. It's important to remember that APCR's penetration drops off more drastically at range than AP, so who's to say you'd even have more if you switched? Oh, but we spot a Borsig. Unfortunately, I've got APCR loaded for him. I get the round out of the barrel and I switch to HE, which is a really good habit to get into if you do carry HE rounds. Unfortunately, it's put me in a position now where I've got HE loaded and the Borsig is gone. Oof, the team looks like they're getting wiped out a little bit, which is nauseating. Oh, HE into a CDC though. You stand a pretty good chance of rolling high if you can get through some of its softest armor without hitting its tracks. Switch off the AP at this point as the Borsig has vanished. And I'm just wasting HE rounds shooting at those heavily armored tanks. Well, CDC isn't heavily armored, but you know what I mean. Oh, and there's the Borsig. I got APCR loaded again, unfortunately, because I was trying to shoot at that E5 downrange. And he kind of plays a little mind game with me there. I'm feeling pretty good about the game thus far. I haven't taken any damage. My own individual performance, anyway. 9 pins. It's not fantastic, but you know, I've probably done right around 2,000 damage at this point, and I've picked up a kill. I load up some APCR, and you know, I was kind of thinking maybe that IS-7 down there needed to get finished off. I saw him last time he was detected. He had no hit points left. It looks like a one-shot for me, so I get a little hungry, and I'm going to go knock this tier 10 heavy tank out of the game. Well, I've got to say that Dragon Ridge is just fantastic since it's been updated. It's so much easier to get around on now. It's beautiful. It's bigger. It's made it a lot more enjoyable. And here we have our IS-7. As you can see, he's done. That's the second tier 10 heavy tank I've killed this game. You can see that I aimed for that gap between his spaced armor and his tracks. That's where you want to hit them, especially if you don't have a very high pinning gun. The spaced armor has a good chance of chewing up your rounds, especially if you're firing heat at it, and the same goes for the tracks. Just aim for the gap. See that you can't get in through there. Now, Pow and I are beginning to sweat. Our team is not looking good. We've given up our side to this Borsig over here, so we're kind of keeping an eye on him, as we've been trying to pull him out of the game for a while now. The E5 and the other remaining heavy tank are in dire straits and desperate for help, I'm sure. We're pretty far away at this point. Oh, and there's the Borsig, and I tell Pow, the Borsig, just so we could have two guns pointed at him, but fortunately I managed to pick him off and we can get back underway and lose the spot so that artillery doesn't shoot at us. Ooh, it is down to the wire. It is down to the wire. We got an E5 left who's quarreling with an STI, a CDC, the enemy artillery, and an E100. Pow and I are in tier 8 medium tanks and feeling very, very vulnerable at this point in time. Even though Dragon Ridge has been redesigned, it is still difficult to get around on it quickly due to the inclines, but we are giving it the old college try. But it is starting to look like maybe we're not going to be able to get to that E5 in time, which does have us a little worried. Now, in these types of situations, you really, really want to keep your head screwed on tight and think about what it is that you need to do. I don't want to rush down there, and Pow agreed with me that rushing down there would probably equal a death sentence. So I make a beeline for the back of the map. Yeah, we just lost the E5 shortly after we got to the top of the hill, which is unfortunate. He was really slugging it out. I wanted to help him, but we figured we'll just play good and try to win the game for him. So So now it's 2 tier 8 tanks against a tier 9 heavy, a tier 10 heavy, a tier 8 medium, and a tier 9 artillery. I'm thinking the artillery's back here, as I was saying earlier. So I come back here to look for him, and unfortunately he's not back here. So, damn. Where the hell could he be? You hate leaving artillery in the game in situations like this because, especially with those high tier monsters, they can just take you out in one shot, which is bullshit, but that's a video for another day. Pow and I have been feverishly going back and forth here as to how we want to handle this, and we initially want to try to get away, but then we notice that we're running out of time. We're pushing the 5-minute mark here, and we can't afford to linger for too long, and there's really not a whole lot in the way of opportunity to try to flank, just because of our time limitations. So, doing what we've been doing the entirety of the game, we decided to try to pick these guys up as best we can, from range, keep them at arm's length, and just start pounding on them. Fortunately, I've got a good angle on this STI. I can get shots down on his armor. I get a bounce there, unfortunately, but you know, we're 50-50. Pow gets one into him, and I get another one into him. I don't know if Pow is detected at this point. I think maybe he was. No matter. Finish the STI off now. We know we need to get the hell out of here. We've been picked up. Artillery is looking for us, as are the 2 other tanks. Oh boy, these types of situations are just so stressful. So fun though, and that's why we keep playing, right? There's the E100. We're picked up. Artillery's got to be looking at us. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, Pow. I'm sorry, Pow. I still haven't taken any damage this game. Wow. That's awesome. So we get a little bit divided here. I managed to get up the hill. Artillery's empty, but that E100 has us detected and is already just waiting for us to cross the divide. So Pow is essentially trapped down low. He slides back down the other way, though, and starts jockeying for position while I move across the flank a little bit and get a little bit of a penguin slide here. Fortunately, Pow and I have thousands of games together and are very, very well organized the majority of the time that we play. And, you know, we're talking about what it is we're going to do. You know, the CDC is almost dead. I got a perfect position on him to finish him off. Pull him out of the game. That's my 5th kill. Alright, there's the 100. Oh my god, is he going to hit me? Oh, man, the artillery hits him. That's awesome. Bounce around to APCR off his side. Oh, and he gets Pow. No, Pow, no. Oh, there's my last round of APCR. I'm back on AP. Oh, he's going to have a shot here soon. He's going to have a shot soon. Oh, behind him. Through the back of his turret. Oh, artillery misses both of us. And he's done. He's done. There's just nothing he can do in a situation like that. Once you get on a big slow-moving heavy tank like that, your fast-moving mediums, you just got it. Just keep your head screwed on tight. Man, my heart was pounding. My hands were sweaty. Pow and I are, you know, on the horn with each other. It's not my first rodeo, fortunately. And, man, thank God the artillery shotgunned the enemy in the last minute there. And I couldn't really be happier with this game. It was an ace tanker round. I pushed my damage standing up higher. I got an Oskins and a Top Gun, which included 3 tier 10 heavy tanks. In my tier 8 medium, yeah, 3,400 damage. I was stoked. I had the benefit of a great teammate, my friend Pow, and then also those 2 E5s that totally threw down in the valley. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to save them, but we did manage to pull out the win. So their sacrifice didn't go in vain. Alright guys, I'm going to have a couple more videos out this week featuring the FE4202 before it gets turned into the Centurion Action 10, and also some videos about the Conqueror and the grind towards the Chieftain. Yes, it's coming and it is amazing.